Presentation of Ferrari's car in the WEC, Sauber making a big move, FIA responding to George Russell, and Red Bull leveling the playing field for McLaren. Let's talk about all of this now. Hey there, friends of Seneca Racing. Welcome back to another video. I'm Rebecca, and we're kicking things off with the WEC. On February 14th, Ferrari will unveil their new car for the World Endurance Championship. They'll be showcasing their Le Mans car, particularly the 499P, alongside their partner AF course. As we know, the Ferrari 499P has already made a name for itself by winning the last two tests at Le Mans. Ferrari is all in on the 499P. It's a stunning car, and I can't wait for the new season to kick off on February 28th in Qatar. Shifting gears to Formula One, we have some news about Sauber. Alessandro Alini-Bravi, the team's managing director and representative, is set to leave at the end of January after 8 years with the team. During his tenure, he witnessed significant changes, including the Longbow acquisition in 2017 and the upcoming rebranding to Audi. His departure comes at a pivotal time as Jonathan Whitley steps in as the new team principal. It looks like they're shaking things up across the board, especially with some key exits and the arrival of Mattia Binotto. Wishing Alessandro all the best in his next adventure, which is still under wraps, and good luck to Sauber in this new chapter as Audi. The behind-the-scenes action in Formula One is always lively, and now we have the ongoing saga of George Russell versus the FIA. Let's not forget that Russell called out the FIA, questioning why they keep handing out fines without transparency about where the money goes. He asked, "What do you do with this money? How transparent is your management?" Well, the FIA finally responded, albeit after some time. And it wasn't even Mohammed Ben Sulayem, the main target of the criticism, who replied. Instead, it was Nicholas Tombatsis, the FIA's single-seater chief. He stressed that all the money collected is funneled into social projects and grassroots motorsport, emphasizing that the FIA isn't a profit-driven organization and uses these funds for crucial initiatives like promoting the sport at the grassroots level, safety, and developing new talents. In other words, those fines of €50,000 or €10,000 are being redirected to these causes. He also pointed out that last year, the FIA invested over €10 million in social projects and grassroots motorsport, significantly surpassing the amount raised from fines, which was around €270,000. So yes, €10 million is a lot more than €270,000. However, I want to critique the FIA a bit here. It's great that they're investing in grassroots initiatives and social projects. No complaints there. But there are situations where penalties should be sport-related, not just fines. For instance, if a driver is released from the pits at the wrong moment, sometimes the FIA opts for a monetary fine instead of a time penalty. The drivers are right to question whether this money is genuinely being allocated to important matters. Another point to consider, €10 million for social projects or grassroots categories might seem like a lot to an individual. But for a corporate entity like the FIA, it's a drop in the bucket. €10 million is not much for social projects or for ensuring safety and talent development. As I've mentioned countless times on this channel, the talk about safety only seems to apply to Formula One and Formula Two. Below that, it's every man for himself. Sometimes, things get a little attention in Formula 3 because it's in the spotlight, but once you go lower, it's a free-for-all. Every year, people die on tracks that are known to be dangerous. Various categories have serious accidents, and the FIA turns a blind eye. So, €10 million for safety is paltry for an organization that constantly claims to be investing heavily in safety. That's why I urge you not to fall for political rhetoric, because there's a lot of politics in this narrative. We're not just talking about sports here. There's a lot of politicking going on with companies, the UN, and more. I've criticized this especially during Jean Todt's presidency at the FIA. So, that's my take, and that's the FIA's response to the fines issue. But wait, there's more. The F1 behind-the-scenes drama continues. Will Courtney has been announced by McLaren as their new addition. He's currently the head of strategy at Red Bull and will stay with the team, believe it or not, until mid-2026, despite being named McLaren's sporting director. Why is this happening? Because Red Bull is doing everything they can to avoid strengthening their rivals. We know that when high-profile hires happen, teams often negotiate gardening leave, like what happened with Dan Fallows. They're trying to strike deals about time and compensation. Red Bull is playing it smart by holding onto their talent as tightly as possible to avoid bolstering their competitors, especially since they're facing a crisis, as we've mentioned recently. They're losing key people but not replacing them. They're reallocating positions. It seems that Hannah Schmitz is being groomed to step into Courtney's role. So again, they're not bringing in new hires to fill gaps but moving people around internally. This doesn't mean that the internal candidates aren't capable. Hannah Schmitz has earned her stripes as a strategy queen in recent years. But when this kind of reshuffling happens in multiple critical areas within a team, it indicates there's a crisis brewing. McLaren is tightening its grip, just like they did with Jonathan Whitley. Remember we talked about Whitley in relation to Sauber? They held onto him tightly to avoid strengthening their rivals. And keep in mind, Sauber isn't even a direct competitor. So, the behind-the-scenes action is heating up. Red Bull is leveling the playing field for McLaren, and the FIA is trying to dodge the heat from George Russell's criticisms. Let's see what the fallout from all this will be down the line. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything here at Seneca Racing. Big hugs, take care, and see you next time.